Namaste, it's me Govinda Khanal, MPhil in English Education, Nepal Open University. My presentation is on Translation as Cultural Politics, Regimes of Domestication in English by Lawrence Venuti. Lawrence Venuti, born in 1953, is an American professional translator, translation theorist, educator and editor. He has edited Rethinking Translation, Discourse, Subjectivity, Ideology, and the Translation Studies Reader, which are much important in the field of translation. He argues against neutrality in translation, emphasizing that foreignness of foreign text must be preserved. He is against achieving domestication and appropriation of foreign translation. Venuti characterizes domestication and translator as a violence on source culture. Translation as cultural politics. Venuti regards translation as cultural politics as it enacts cultural subordination through translation metalanguage. Translational discourse can create violence conditioned by exercising translational power, minimizing the foreign text through exclusion of cultural elements. Translation as a power exercising cultural domination, ethnic violence, political conflicts, and war. Translation violence can be purposeful and is imposed through reconstruction of foreign text, distorting the values, beliefs, and assumptions existing in foreign culture. Translation can exercise domination and marginalization in production, distribution, and reception of the text. It can neutralize the difference between domestic and foreign culture to make the translation comprehensible, which kills the foreign culture. As such, translation suffers exclusion and reduction. Foreign text experiences impose imperial ideologies purposefully and deliberately for political, cultural, economic, and other causes. National, ethnic, and cultural identities may be at risk with possibility of various conflicts and tensions. Translation is cultural political practice as it is affected during selection, rendering, publication, reviewing, and teaching. These processes are likely to create identity crisis to foreign cultures. Complete avoidance of translation violence is not possible as it is likely in the process, production, and reception. What can be done then? Translators should try to minimize the degree of violence when the foreign violence made to foreign culture. Domesticating versus foreignizing. Frederick Schleiermacher in his 1830 lecture proposed two methods of translation. First one, leaving the author in peace and moving the reader towards him, and second one, leaving the reader in peace and moving the author towards him. As such, there are two translation methods he put forward: domesticating method and foreignizing method. Domesticating method. In this method, an ethnocentric reduction of foreign text to the target language cultural values, bringing the author back home. English context takes place, and in foreignizing method, an ethno-deviant pressure that recognizes the linguistic and cultural reference of the foreign text, sending the reader abroad. Schleiermacher was in favor of foreignizing translation. Fluent strategy as domesticating. Venuti favors foreignizing method as it is against hegemony of English language countries, which are exercising unique cultural interactions and consolidating marginalization. He shows dissatisfaction against the domination of domesticating theories and practices in English language translation. John Occam Freire's fluent strategy, like domesticating method, favors transparency, which produces illusionary effect of the original as if it were the original rather than translation. Such translation is often free from cultural and social flavor of the source text as it domesticates it to fit to the target culture. Like domestication, even fluent strategy does not produce accurate translation. Fluency produces homogenization by avoiding cultural and historical indications. Liberal humanism in domestication. Freire argued that fluency strategy follows liberal humanism, which regards subjectivity as universal that goes beyond cultural differences, historicity, and social traits. Fluency is a discursive strategy practiced to achieve domesticating translation. NIDA's conceptualization of dynamic or functional equivalence, which aims for complete naturalness of expression, equates to Freire's notion of fluent strategy and thus domestication. These strategies, in attempt to achieving similar response by the domestic English language speakers, destroy the distinctive cultural features of the foreign culture. NIDA's theory of translation as communication neglects ethnocentric violence created by translation process. It is also based on the notion of transcendental humanity that is supposed to be universal. Foreignizing against domestication. The theory of domestication aims to resist dominant target language cultural strategies to preserve foreign linguistic and cultural values. Foreignization avoids fluency and challenges the values of target language culture. It distinguishes human subjectivity from humanist notion of domestication. Text and translation both are not transcendental in their message, rather they are cultural. Subjectivity can be diverse, conflicting, socio-culturally situated. Although text is produced by the author, it entails cultural and linguistic traits which compose social, psychological, and ideological meaning that can be different from producer's intention. Although translators consult resources of the original and target language, ethnocentric violence is likely to be created, Venuti argues. Because of discontinued nature of source and target language, translation is likely to produce effects of foreignizing in domestication as well as domestication in foreignizing. As such, translators mention translation strategies as prefaces to notify the readers of their typical translation features. This will help the readers reflect upon ethnocentric violence produced by translation and interpret accordingly. Venuti advocates resistance against ethnocentrism and racism, cultural narcissism, and imperialism. He stresses that translations need to focus on cultural difference rather than homogeneity. Thank you.